Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. Today I'm going to be sharing the Paper Florist Dies from Stampin' Up's annual catalog and how you can make simple, fun projects with these amazing flower dies or use them to make more elaborate 3D projects as well. I think you're really going to love it. My name is Lori DeGroot from Lorita Marie Crafts, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Calgary, Alberta. And I come live Thursdays at 12 p.m. Mountain Time so that I can give you fun tips, techniques, ideas, inspiration to help you take your paper crafting supplies and turn them into beautiful projects that you can then share with others. So today, like I said, Paper Florist Dies, which if you don't know, is to make some 3D flowers. And so it's a little bit more advanced, I guess you could say, but I want to like break it down so it can also be for everybody. So you don't think, oh, that's too hard for me. No, you can do it. If you are, though, looking for a fun way just to make a few cards, until next week, the 23rd, if you place an order, I've got a link here in the description of the video, I will send you a free card kit. So you get, these are the cards I made last week on my live. And if you spend $60 using my current host code, then I'll send you everything that you need to make 6 of these, 3 of each one. And so that's just a fun way to get instantly creating some cards and some, and I've used the Paper Florist Dies a little bit on those, so you get to see a little bit of it. So that is that. So I hope you guys are doing well. Today is going to be crazy hot here in Calgary again. I was asking the other day on my page, thumbs up or thumbs down on the hot weather. So I think it's like, okay, if it's for a short period, right? So today is going to be like 35 in Calgary, but tomorrow is going to be 17. So figure that out. So I think we can survive one day because we know that the weekend's going to be cooler. So then that makes it bearable, right? And my craft room here is in my basement. So I am comfortable and out of the heat. So a place to escape, right? Yeah. That is all the chit chat. We want to get to the crafting. You know, today it's going to take a little bit of time. So we're going to get right to it. Now, so I've got these beautiful colors here. So let's show you the dies as well. So here are the dies. I don't know if you noticed them in the annual catalog or not, or online, if you shop online. And I saw them and I was so excited. And this is the first time that I am actually like cut every piece out, playing with it, figuring them out. And my tip is that's exactly what you need to do. You need to embrace play. You need to cut out all the pieces. You need to throw away perfection, the idea of perfection, and you need to just play with the pieces and figure out how they go together. And that's the best advice I have for these dies, is just to have fun with them and see what you can come up with, because obviously the possibilities can be endless. So one tip I have when you're first starting out is to choose a color scheme that you want to use, right? So because you can cut out so many different flowers, I first just looked at my cardstock and like, what kind of color scheme do I want to go with? And I'm still in summer mode, as you can tell from my color scheme. So these are the colors that I'm going to be working with today. So you can look through your cardstock first, and maybe you want to go more monochromatic, where say you're just doing all pinks or all purples or something like that. But then so you can pick out your favorite ones and see what greens, maybe for some leaves, go with it, and that kind of idea. So I've got Orchid Oasis here, Flirty Flamingo, Petal Pink for my flowers. Pool Party I ended up going with for the base of my card. And then for a yellow, I've used actually 3 yellows. So this is Daffodil Delight, but Crushed Curry and Lemon Lolly all look great. And then I chose a couple greens. This is Parakeet Party, the bright one, and this is Granny Apple Green. So a great way to get a bunch of cardstock colors is that you can get cardstock packs of every color family. So you could get all the brights and get 2 sheets of every color, you know, or all the subtles or the in colors or whatever you like. And then that's a great way to have a whole selection of different colors at an affordable price. So that's just a quick tip to kind of to get you going. And then I've cut out all the pieces already so that you don't have to watch me cut everything out. And so I'll describe which die is what as we go along, as we put everything together. All right. So let me show you what the base of the card is going to be first. So like I said, Pool Party is a great tone of color to use as a background, or you could just use any neutrals or white. So I just got a Pool Party card base here. And then in the color family DSP packs, I had a piece of DSP in Pool Party. Where's my, there it is. And so this is just the background for my card. So this first card is going to show you how you can cut out these flowers, keep them fairly flat, so that they can actually go on a card, right? You got to stick it in an envelope still, so you don't want it too chunky. So this is kind of a more simple way. And so you could, of course, just do one flower and a set of leaves and then start there, and then you could build up more flowers as you go. So the first flower we're going to make is this die here. Let's see if I can pull it off there. So there's this die, so it cuts out 3 petals at once. So I cut out that 2 times in petal pink. So this is what they look like. So it cuts out 3 at once. And then to make our flower, I wanted 6 petals. So I just cut that out 2 times with my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then you'll notice it has this little cut. So we're not going to use that this time, but I'll show you that for our second project. And then today I'm going to be using liquid glue, which if you watch my videos, you know it's not my fave. If I can use tape glue or glue dots, I will always do that. But you really need liquid glue for the flowers. The Tombow glue that you can buy from Stampin' Up holds fast and strong, and it's going to be perfect for putting these flowers together. I've also got a silicone craft sheet, which helps the adhesive and just makes it easier to put together. So first thing we're actually going to do is, one tip I have, maybe on the bigger flowers, is to add a little depth to the petals. So you can definitely just cut them out like this, leave it plain, and it still looks great. But one way to add a little depth is to grab the same color, so petal pink, grab a blending brush, and then just add the same color either on the edge of the petal, or you could go from the bottom and go up on the petal too. And so this is just a simple way to add a little interest to your petals. A little tone on tone there. And so this is one of the small blending brushes that comes in a pack of 3. There's also the larger size that you can get in a pack of 3. So I don't know if anyone else has tried these dies. I know my sister has them, and I called her for some tips because she played with them quite a bit before I opened mine. So these are definitely the kind of thing that the more you use them, the more comfortable you're going to get with them, and the more fun you're going to have. So I'm also going to grab a bone folder and just, you know, add a little bit of curl to the edge. You don't have to do this either. You're not going to want, you know, if it gets put in an envelope, it's not really going to matter a whole lot. It's going to end up being kind of flat anyway. So let's get our liquid glue, and let's just start putting our petals together. So I'm going to do, and this is where I'm going to get glue all over myself. And you, with this kind of glue, you need the teeniest amount. A little goes a long, long way. And then you've got a little bit of like wiggle room to maneuver, but it does dry fairly quickly. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a little behind and then layer it up this way. And you do have to hold it a second. I might take more time, you know, if I wasn't on a video. But let's see. See if I can get it looking like something here. And I've just kind of alternated the petals. So we'll just hold that for a second. And then we're going to put the center on. Okay. So there's a whole bunch of different centers. So we've got this funny looking piece here. Why does it do that? I got a glitch here in my, we got a glitch. Let's go back. Thanks, Cheryl, for letting me know. Okay, so there's this piece here, whoops, that cuts out this kind of fun piece like that. Might bring these up here so you can see. So I'm going to use that. And then these fun ones here. So they look similar, but they're actually different. So this one, you've got a big and a small. The big one on this one has like these little polka dots on it. And then the small one just has like a stitched outline. Let's get up in there so you can see what they all look like. Okay, and then the other one is the opposite. If at first you're looking at it, you're like, they look the same. They're actually do the opposite. So now this one cuts out the big circle with the stitched, and then the little guy that has the little tiny dots on it. So I'm gonna, what I did is I actually cut out everything. I cut out all my pieces, and then I started putting my flowers together, whatever was lying around. It's like, oh, I'll grab this piece, I'll grab this piece, and I'll just start putting this together. And that might be easier too than cutting everything out one at a time. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the back of that. Put it onto the center. And then we've got our first flower there. So there's one. And then the other ones are a little more simple. So you're going to see this die here. So that cuts out 2 daisies at once. And they're fun because they're not like a perfect star. So you can see a little more natural looking, right? Because the petals kind of go a different way. So I'm going to layer these 2 up and just offset them a little bit. So this is Orchid Oasis. And then you can just spin it to however you like how it looks. You can use different things to help you hold it. You take your pick tool, whatever works there. And then you need a center. And so I've just cut out one of those little circles that I showed you before in yellow. So we'll put a little glue on that. This is the smaller one. Then we're going to make another daisy with the Orchid Oasis. So there's this die here. So you're going to get 4 set of petals, set of flowers in 1 cut. So that's kind of nice. And so they look like this. And so they're definitely meant to be layered up together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all 4. And just get my glue to come out there. And I'm just going to alternate them like this. So I'm going to bring that up, right? So now it's starting to look like a flower once you put the 2 together. Then I'm going to put the little guy and just alternate the way the petals go again. And then one more time. Just going to hold that down. And then for the center on this one, I'm going to show you these dies here. So we got 2 of these, so you can cut out 2 at once. And they turn out looking like this. So you have so many fun and different shapes. This is what I mean, like the possibilities are endless. And there's really obviously, no right or wrong way to put these flowers together. This is just what I've done. And I bet you the more I play with these flowers, I'll keep doing things differently. But this just gives you an idea and a place to start. Okay, so now we've got 3 flowers. And so this would be a card on its own too. That would look great. But I'm going to just add a few more elements so I can just show you how everything cuts out. So next up, I've got this piece and this one. So these two go together to create like a little bud flower. So I've cut out one in Granny Apple Green and one in Parakeet Party. And then I've cut out, let's show you here. Everything's hard to pick up. I've cut out 2 sets of the little buds. So again, that's one cut and you get all 3 buds at once. Let's just see what they kind of look like. And so I've turned these backwards or upside down. And then I'm going to put the petals on this way. And we're going to do the same for this one. And then that's all the gluing for this one. Well, no, I still have to glue them to the card, I guess. Okay, so then you can see, let's see, they're going to focus there. There, you can see how you want to tuck the petal behind the green there. All right, so we've got all our pieces. Then I've also cut out some leaves. So I've got 2 in Granny Apple Green and 2 in Parakeet Party, and that's this die here. And there's actually 3 different leaf shapes. So you've got this one, you've got this one here, and you've got this guy here. So these 2 I'm going to use on my next project, which is a little 3D project, just a small one, just to give you a taste of kind of what you could do. So let's start putting this on our card and you're going to see how it comes together. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on my big flower. And I'm just going to keep going with the liquid glue because I think it's just going to hold things the best. And then you just start layering up however you want to. So I'm going to do this flower next. And we'll just tuck him back there. This one here. Then we'll add our bud ones. And so I'm making this all flat, right? Just all flat for a card. So we'll just tuck that up there. See if I can pick this up. There we go. Fingers are starting to get sticky. Just less is more with the glue. Hold down for a second. Oh, yep, it's definitely starting to stick to my fingers. And then the leaves will just finish it off. So I'm going to layer a dark and a light on either side. And just put a little glue at the bottom. And let's see here. Let's tuck this one in here. And then if this is flopping around too much, you can add a little dab of glue or maybe even a little glue dot on that top leaf. And then that should work too. All right, then I was going to do the opposite on this side. I'm going to put the dark one down first. And then I'm going to put the light one. And you can see the more you fill it out, like it's pretty fun, right? And there we go. And then I've already done the sentiment, just so speed this up a little bit. So obviously any sentiment would look great. Any stamp set that you've got. This says Celebrate You, and it's from Dainty Delight. And I've just cut it out with a die that I had, and I've in black, obviously, and heat embossed it in white. And then every time I do this, it looks a little different. So you can just figure out where you want it. and maybe a couple of dimensionals on the back. Oops. And then I kind of like it with the pop of black there. And last but not least, you got to have some gems. And so I'm going to use the iridescent gems. And these are the small size. It comes in 2 sizes. And then you can just start adding them wherever you like. So I'm kind of adding them on every, center of the flower. Then I'm going to add one up here and one down here. Let's fold that up. And we did it. I was a little worried about how it was going to come together live on a video, but that wasn't too bad. Not too bad. So hopefully that all made sense as it was coming together. And there's a first card. So then you could, if you wanted to, like if you're not going to tuck it into an envelope, you could try to fluff those up a little bit if you wanted to, or you could keep it nice and flat. So that's our first project. And so then what I wanted to show is that, paper crafting, of course, it could be as simple as you want or as elaborate as you want. So I wanted to make a 3D project for you, but nothing that was too crazy. That was going to take me all day. So this is just a little example of something you do. So we're going to make a gift tag. And what I want to do is show you how to make kind of your 3D flower. So I'll show you all my pieces here, and then we'll start putting it together. All right, so the first one we're going to do is this one that cut out the 3 petals at a time. Do you remember that one? And so we can again add the extra tone of color. So I've cut them out in Flirty Flamingo this time. And so you could do the same thing where you add a little depth by brushing on some color. And so these, when you make them more 3D, I mean, you could make a little gift box. You could do the cover of like a fancy scrapbook album. I thought it would be fun to put them on little skewers and tuck them into a cupcake or a cake. These are kind of things I was picturing when I bought these dies. They're so fun. Okay, so we need our silicone mat again. And so this time I'm going to show you something that you didn't see on the first one. So I think this time I am going to use my glue dots if I can find them. There they are. I don't know why they always blend into my table. So you've got a little slit here. And so what you're going to end up doing is folding it over. Let's see if I can show you like that. So you can definitely do this with glue again. But just for ease sake, I am going to do it with the glue dot. And then it doesn't stick to me quite as much. And then I've folded it over, and then you can see it's made it kind of like a cup. It gets cupped in like this. And so that's what makes the little 3D part. So I'm going to put a glue dot on every petal. And then see if we can't make this process not too painful for you to watch come together. And then we'll just go ahead and put our little petals together. So just folding the little slit, sticking it together. And then if you wanted to, again, you could maybe just with your finger or with your bone folder, you could bend the petal back. And then that gives another little dimension. Sometimes people use their bone folder first to kind of just break up the fibers in the paper. And then it makes it a little more pliable when you're using it. Sometimes these things depend on how much of a perfectionist you are. So we'll just bend them back with my finger just to give them a little more interest. And then we're going to have to put them together. So now we're going to want our glue. And so we're just going to start layering them up similar to how we did the flat one. And then you're going to want to press it a bit and let it hold. So I'm going to do 3 together like this. You could use something to help you just push down. And then I think we'll go behind. All right. So while I'm doing this, I'll let you know also that, did you know that the holiday catalog too is on its way? I keep making summer projects, but the holiday catalog comes out on September the 6th. No, is that right? I think so. And if you were on my mailing list, I've heard some people have been getting them, so they are on the way. So that's exciting. If you're not on my mailing list, you could definitely let me know and I'll pop one in the mail for you. All right. So this is something you're probably going to need to let sit longer than I'm going to do here for the sake of this project, but I think it'll hold together enough for what we're doing. So that's the basics of the flowers. You just kind of arrange the petals however you want. And then you've got this funny looking piece. So that's what this one is here. There we go. And it cuts it out like this with a little, you know, if you want a simple way to play with flowers before, you know, to see if you like this kind of thing, there is a kit, the Wreath Blooms kit. And it is this kind of idea, but it's all cut and prepped for you and ready to go. And the kits are on sale this month. So that might be a fun way to kind of get going on this kind of idea. Okay, so I cut up 2. This is in crushed curry. It's a little bit darker yellow. And then you're going to need to start rolling it up into a little roll. Okay, what can you see here? So then I'm going to just kind of squish it with my fingers so it's a little round at the bottom. It's so tiny. I don't know how much you can see there. But we're just going to start rolling it up. And I didn't want to be covered in glue too soon in the process, so I didn't add anything too early. But now, just so it stays together, I'm going to add a little bit of glue here. And then you just need to keep rolling it up. Rolling it up. And okay, so this is one. So it doesn't look like much yet, but I'll show you what we do with it. But then I found that wasn't quite fat enough for what I wanted. So I'm going to add a second one. So I think I'm going to start it with the glue dot, just so that's easier on me. Where's the end? And then we're going to get it rolling again. And if you want to put glue all the way while you're doing this, that's fine. I'm sure that works too. And put a little bit there. And just keep rolling it up. There, this is like taking you back to fun crafts as a kid where you're covered in covered in white glue. All right, so once you've got it, you might want to hold it closed just for a bit with your fingers, but then you're just going to fluff it. So we're going to take it out. It's got all those fun little cuts. And then we're just gonna keep bending it back until we've got the center of our flower. And then voila! Does that look so cute? Magic. And then I think I'll put glue right on the bottom of that. And then we'll stick it in the center of our flower there. So hopefully that's gonna stay. But now you can see our cute little flower. Turned out not too bad. Not too shabby. All right. The next two aren't, that's the fussy one, okay? So I wanted to make sure I showed you how that one went together so that you could see. Then we're going to do this flower that I haven't shown you yet. This is actually the one I used last week on my live if you watched last week's video. So this cuts out 4 petals at once again. So that's kind of nice. So you get 2 big and 2 small. And so I'm actually going to put the 2 big ones together and the 2 small ones together to create 2 flowers. And, you know, to make it a little more 3D for this project, then you can like fold up those petals with your bone folder. And, you know, however fussy you want to be. That's entirely up to you. Okay. Okay, so this won't take as long, and then you're gonna love how the whole thing comes together here. So I'm just gonna put them kind of opposite the way the petals go, and then you've got 2 flowers with just 1 cut on your die cutting machine, which is important. I like that part. Okay, so then we're going to put our centers in. And so I've cut out 2 of these little spiky star ones that I showed you earlier. And that's going on the little one. And you can even fluff these up too if you want. So we're going to put 1 in, a little bit of glue. Actually, the other reason I use glue instead of glue dots is I found the glue dots get fat. Like if once you start layering them up, it actually gets kind of chunky. And then your flower doesn't sit nice. So here, then you can kind of fluff up your petals a little bit more to cup it a bit. So there's 2. And then for this last one, I'm going to use this star one again. And come on, glue. And then put one of the little stitched centers in there. All right. Okay. Really cute, right? So let's make our little tag. So I've gone ahead and cut out a tag. So this is just from the Taylor Tag Size. So this is in Pool Party. And then it comes with, so that's the die. Comes with a little tag thing there if you want to just add an extra detail. I think I left my glue open too long here. So I've cut this out in crushed curry. And sometimes what I use too is my tweezers from my Embossing Buddies kit. And it keeps your fingers out of your project. So put that there. And then we're going to start with our big flower. So we'll get our glue on there. And this one just definitely want to hold for a bit until it can set. I'm really, like, this glue really does hold things though. Then we're going to put a flower up here. When I showed my daughter this, she's like, ooh, that's my birthday gift tag. Her birthday's next week. She's like, and the card, perfect. So it'll be a big surprise when she gets it on her birthday gift. Okay, so there's that. And then we're going to cut out leaves. So I've got, let's see, a set of these in the Granny Apple Green and a set in the Parakeet Party. And I'm going to take the light one and the dark one again and just kind of layer those up. And then I think maybe I will put a glue dot just, I got too much glue on that one. And then we're going to tuck it back there. Go to my trusty glue dots for the leaves. Then we'll tuck the light with the dark again. And we'll tuck it down on this side. So much fun. And then I thought I needed some of those iridescent gems again, which are hiding on my desk. There we go. And I'll bring this up closer to the camera again so that you can see. But we'll put one gem on that flower. Another embellishment that would look really great on these cards are the brushed brass butterflies. I asked my daughter which ones she wanted more and she picked these ones. So that's how this came to be. And then it needs a little ribbon, of course. So I'm gonna bust out my favorite gingham ribbon, find some scissors here. So you just kind of cut the length that you want. This is available now in the annual catalog. There's a new gingham ribbon coming out in the holiday catalog that's like more vanilla. And then to help you poke it through, you can use your fingers or take your pick tool. I'm just full of glue, so nothing's cooperating. So I put the ends in the back, pull it through, and then you pull it through your loop, like so. And then it ties itself. All right, and there's our little gift tag. And we'll bring out the matching card. And there is my playing around with the Paper Florist Dies. So I hope you got some tips and ideas. Like I said, this is not exhaustive and it's kind of a fun one to play with. The more you play with it, just, you know, your creativity is going to come out, I promise. So right now, if I forgot to mention this, hi, come back up here. I forgot to mention this, that these are back ordered right now, which is bad timing for this video, but at the same time, they're only a couple weeks out. So if you want to know when these are coming back in stock, you could just comment paper down here or send me a message and I will be sure to put you on a list that, or I'll just send you a text or an email or whatever and let you know that they're back in stock because they're so fun and you are going to want these. And like I said, don't be intimidated by them. You can keep them simple or sky's the limit, go crazy. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. And I will be back again next Thursday, of course, with some more fun projects for you. So until then, take care. Bye-bye.